Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a phrase you'll hear constantly in everyday English, wishful thinking. Now, this isn't just about making a literal wish. It's actually this really fascinating, nuanced way that native speakers navigate the delicate balance between wild optimism and cold, hard reality. So let's jump right in and master it together.
Here's our quick game plan for today. We're going to start with the exact definition. Compare the optimist and realist mindsets, look at some real-life daily usage, check out a few helpful related expressions, and finally we'll wrap up with what I like to call the empathy rule.
All right, Section 1. What exactly is wishful thinking?
To put it simply, wishful thinking is hoping something will happen, even when you know deep down it is highly unlikely. The absolute core of this phrase is all about friction. It's that huge gap between having really high hopes but facing extremely low probabilities. It's when the odds are totally stacked against you, but your brain just desperately wants to believe in a positive outcome anyway.
Now, a super common misconception is that this phrase is about literal wishes, blowing out birthday candles or tossing a coin into a fountain. But actually, scratch that. It's not about magic at all. It is a very specific mindset we fall into when dealing with real-world problems.
And that brings us perfectly to Section 2, optimists versus realists.
To really use this expression naturally in conversation, you have to understand the clash between these two personality types. Let's say your refrigerator completely dies. The optimist, the wisher, looks at it and says, "Oh, it's probably just a temporary glitch. I bet it'll fix itself by tomorrow morning." They just want an easy out. But the realist, the skeptic, they know household appliances don't just magically heal overnight. They know you immediately either need to call a repairman or literally go buy a new fridge.
And it is right at that exact moment of collision that the realist drops this phrase. Yeah, that's wishful thinking. It's this incredibly handy conversational tool used to gently, or let's be honest, sometimes bluntly, bring that highly optimistic person right back down to planet Earth.
Okay, moving on to Section 3. Let's see how this actually plays out in our daily lives.
We have all been there, right? You find a dress on clearance and think, maybe it'll be even cheaper at the register. Or your favorite sports team is down by 20 points with 3 minutes left and you're screaming, we can still win this. Maybe you're trying to find a dirt cheap last-minute flight to Europe for tomorrow. Or you show up to a sold-out concert hoping to just score tickets at the door. In all of these super relatable scenarios, you're indulging in wishful thinking and you are totally opening yourself up to a reality check from a friend.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This is the pro-level native usage. I know this is probably wishful thinking, but maybe we should try going early to the door. Do you see what's happening here? You are using the phrase on yourself.
It is brilliant, honestly. It acts as a conversational shield. By using a bit of self-deprecation, by admitting right up front that your idea is a total long shot, you show everyone that you're perfectly in touch with reality. You acknowledge the bad odds yourself before the skeptic even has a chance to shoot your idea down. It softens the blow and makes people way more open to your crazy suggestion.
Let's expand our toolkit a bit in Section 4 with some helpful related expressions.
If you are the realist in the conversation, you've got a few other ways to respond. You could say, unlikely. This is a bit more formal and focuses strictly on the math, the low probability of something happening. Then there's, that's optimistic. I really love this one because it's a very polite, kind way to push back without totally crushing the person's spirit. And finally, false hope. This is the most direct of the three. You use it when you need to firmly warn someone that they are walking straight into inevitable disappointment.
For example, you might say, we can try, but I don't want you to have false hope. This is just a fantastic phrase for expectation management. It's firm, but it shows you care. You're agreeing to support their idea and give it a shot, but you're also protecting them from getting hurt if it doesn't pan out.
And finally, we reach Section 5. This is the real mark of social fluency, what I call the empathy rule. Look, just because an idea is unlikely doesn't mean you always have to be the one to point it out. Don't burst their bubble. Sometimes the absolute best communication strategy is simply knowing when not to speak. Even if someone is totally setting themselves up for disappointment, it's often way better to just let them be excited. Sharing in their joy and preserving that human connection is almost always more important than proving that you are right and they are wrong.
So I'll leave you with this. Are you naturally more of a wisher or a realist? And knowing what you know now about the empathy behind this phrase, whose bubble will you save today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, guys. I hope this really helps you out in your daily conversations, and I'll catch you next time.
Got it! What's up? Catch up! Aha!